You wake up in Tirana, Albania, and go straight to the new bazaar to buy tobacco. Then you buy a coffee. From there, you go to the tomb of Kaplan Pasha, who ruled Tirana until 1817. The remains of Kaplan Pasha no longer rest here. They were moved to Istanbul. A few meters away, you come across the clock tower, one of the buildings that actually survived the communist era, and, unlike most of the buildings around Skanderberg Square, it did not collapse. When this tower was built, it was, with its 35 meters of height, the tallest building in Tirana. From its panoramic view, you see the Edhem Bey Mosque. People are praying, and you decide to join them. The mosque was named in memory of the man who completed it in 1823, but his father, Molla Bey, started it more than 30 years earlier. In 1991, when this mosque suddenly reopened, it was breaking the anti-religious law of the communist government. 10,000 devout Muslims came to pray, supported by people carrying flags, and the police did not intervene. That was the beginning of the fall of communism. That is an example of civil disobedience. The mosque has frescoes depicting waterfalls and bridges, as well as trees. This is very rare in Islamic art, as mosques are normally decorated with Arabic symbols and writings. The mosque is in Skanderberg Square, a place that you will cross hundreds of times while in Tirana. When the city fell under communist rule in 1944 and Enver ruled the country for the next 40 years, truly little of its ancient architecture was spared. In the square, there is also the National Historical Museum. This museum was built during the communist era, and the old government building had to be torn down to make room for it. Above the entrance sits a huge mosaic called the Albanians. It represents the development of Albania through time, although for now it is under renovation. The late Paleolithic era, the Middle Ages, Albanian iconography, the anti-fascist war, the influence of Benito Mussolini's dictatorship, World War II, the struggle against the Italo-German Nazis, and the seizure of power by the communists are just some of the periods of Albania that you discover in the museum. After 1991, when communism had fallen and Albania was opened, the communist-era monuments were removed and replaced by a statue of Albanian national hero Skanderberg. Skanderberg is the most important figure in the history of Albanian nationalism, especially recognized for his contributions to the fight to contain the Ottoman invasion of Christian Albania in the 15th century. The Church of the Heart of Christ is the oldest that survived the communist era. It was built by an Italian architect and dates back to 1939. It is run by the Jesuits and was reopened in 1991, when religion was allowed again after the communist period, when the building had been converted into a cinema. The church is one of the few that can boast of having a naked Maria Magdalena, and in the Annunciation, when Maria received the message from the Archangel Gabriel that she was carrying the Son of God, Mary is reading a book. The mere fact that a poor woman could read, let alone own a book, long before printing techniques were invented to produce one, also amazes you. Now you look at Gabriel, or is it Gabriela? In this version of the famous moment, the archangel is actually a young woman. Now you look at the painting of the Last Supper. Although all the original people are present, they all look like normal Albanians, a very realistic representation of the characters. The curious thing is also that one of the saints is looking into the air, the only one who apparently does not hear what Jesus Christ has to say. There is also the guy sleeping or passed out on the table next to Jesus. You might also find it interesting to see Judas sitting with his back turned to you, not unlike a dog, dressed in some sort of wolf skin. Judas does not wear a halo, but rather he grabs the table and his leg with his claw-like hands. Now you go to the city park. On the way, you pass by the Justinian fortress or Tirana castle. It was built between 400 and 600 after Christ and was important during the Byzantine era. Today, it is a commercial center. You also pass over the Tanner's Bridge, which dates back to the 18th century. Before the river was diverted, it used to be part of the St. George Trail. People crossed it with their cattle to take it to the butcher shop. You end up in the Grand Park of Tirana. It is a huge place, full of walking paths and a large artificial lake built in 1955 to make a dam so that all the natural water flow did not flood the city. In addition, there are the churches of San Procopius and the Presidential Palace, and memorials dedicated to famous Albanians or fallen soldiers during World War II. You end your day with a pictorial exhibition from Albanian art students. Enjoy, because tomorrow you are going to pursue dictatorships, repression, and communism.